Okay, so Sarah, we were just talking a little while ago about times when you'd like to be a little bit more resourceful, particularly around being when you get into a confrontation situation. And we chatted about the sort of ways you'd like to feel. And what we're going to do is we're going to do an NLP technique called Circles of Excellence. This involves using your imagination, and I'm going to talk you through going back to some of those times when you have some states that will be really useful in that time of confrontation, and we're going to put them all together, and then we're going to give you a way of taking them with you so that you can just have them whenever you need them. How does that sound?
Okay.
Good, okay. So the first thing I'd like you to do is just imagine there's a circle on the floor, and you're going to be stepping into that circle at some point. Not yet, but in a moment. So have you got a favourite colour?
Lilac.
Great, so if you could imagine a lilac circle just on the floor in front of you. Okay?
Right.
Great, and you can just leave it there. So one of the states that you thought would be useful when you got into those times of confrontation was confidence. And we had a little talk, and you remember the time when you were very confident about doing things, and I think you said it was around swimming.
Mm.
So what I want you to do is just take yourself right back to that time where you were swimming and where you won that race. You just remember how that was and really see it through your own eyes. Hear all the sounds that were there, the water splashing, the sounds of your breathing. Just take yourself right back there now, just exactly how it was when you were feeling very confident. And all those feelings in your body, just bring those back too. And just let me know when you've really got that memory very nice and strong. So, okay, let's keep going. That's good. Okay, so this field, it already starts to...
I'm trying to picture it all as it's happening.
That's okay. Just so you're in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the sounds of the pool around you. Yeah, and the audience.
Yeah.
And you begin to see the water. Then you can start to feel the water.
Well, you don't really notice the water.
You don't really notice the water. But what do you notice inside? How you're feeling inside as
you're focusing on the wall.
You're focusing on the wall. So
yeah.
Focus on the wall. You know, you're really confident you're going to get to that wall first. Okay. That's great. So as you do that, what I want you to do is take that feeling and everything else that goes with it and just step into your lilac circle now. Just take one step forward. Okay. Great. And just allow that to settle down. You can just leave that there and then step out. So, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, no. Okay, so
sorry.
let's take another way you'd like to feel in those confrontation situations. You'd like to feel calm, and I know that you told me that the best place when you're chilled out and really calm is when you're listening to music. What sort of music do you like to listen to?
I like all sorts, but
any particular favourites?
Not at the moment. I am into Razorlight at the moment, but not for chilling.
Okay, what would be your chilling music?
More sort of, I don't know. I like listening to the Titanic album. Okay. Sometimes. Or
any particular track?
Boy bands.
Boy bands, yeah. Oh, we'll come to that in a minute. So, any particular track that really makes you feel?
It's the music. With it being Titanic, where
do you listen to that? In any particular place? Just in your room.
Bed.
So just take yourself back there now to that place when you're lying on your bed. Okay, and you're feeling really calm and comfortable.
Yeah. Get
that feeling inside, and you can hear the music playing, and you can feel that calmness descend over you. You start beginning to feel how that is when that calmness descends.
Yeah.
And you feel really comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, good. And as you feel that, and as that comes, just take that into the circle as well, and just take one step forward and take that right into the circle.
Now.
Just do that now, yeah. Great. And just allow that to be there, and then you can just step out. So, do you always go without breakfast?
Pretty much.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear.
I'm not a morning person.
So we're going to go back to that place, that confrontation place where, and one of the other things, you'd like to be able to be happy there as well. So we're going to add a state of happiness. And we were talking about your boy bands that you really like, and you were telling me that you went to see a Boy's Own, and it was really good. It was a really happy time.
Yeah.
Because just tell us a little bit about that, and just so that we get a feeling for just how significant that was for you and how happy you were when you were there.
It was because I've been poorly through school from being 11 to 14. Well, it went on longer, but when I was 14, I'd missed that much school. That my mum and dad thought it'd be nice to send me to my favourite boy band.
And you got there, and what was that like when you got there?
Fantastic, because it was a fourth row.
How were you feeling?
It was brilliant.
It was brilliant, yeah. So now
take that. For it, singing along.
Sing along. Now take that feeling and just take it in. That's it. Great. Just to let that be with all the others. Great.
Right.
And then step out. So No breakfast.
Nope.
And do you rush out off to work? Is that,
No.
You
No,
don't.
I didn't,
Okay,
no.
you just sort of.
Casual.
So, just what I'd like to do is, we've got all these states. We put them all in your lilac circle, in your circle of excellence. So, let's just take a context where you might have a little bit of confrontation. Can you think of a time where that might have happened, or even a time in the future where that would happen?
In work.
In work,
Not
okay.
where I'm at now.
No, but
previous
okay,
ones.
that's good. So if you just call back a time that when that happened where you didn't handle it so well, can you remember a time there? And as you do that, okay, now as you do that, you're laughing now.
Yeah.
So, what happened in that instance?
The customer threw a catalogue at me.
Threw a catalogue at you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want you to do is, remembering that, just step into that circle and have all those states back. That's great, yeah. So now if the customer threw that catalogue at you, how would that be different from the last time? With that confidence and that calmness and that really happy feeling moving.
I'd probably sort of maybe laugh, actually.
Maybe laugh, yeah, but it would be. Well, it's quite funny, really. That's cool. Okay, so...
One at a time.
Great, you can step out of the circle now. So, anytime you need to have those... How was that stepping into the circle?
Don't know.
Did you...
Just step.
And you began to feel some interesting
I
things.
don't know, I just feel like I'm laughing now.
Feel like you're laughing. Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Okay.
That's a bonus. So, if those confrontation situations, if you could be confident, calm, and even be happy and laughing, that might well turn them around.
Right.
So, what you can do with this circle of excellence, it doesn't have to stay here. You can just imagine picking it up and pop it in your pocket, and you can just take it away with you. Then, anytime you need it, you can just put it on the floor and step into it.
Okay.
And the more you do it, the more you'll have that happy, laughing, calm, confident state for you to anytime you want it.
Okay.
How would that be? So do you like to pick it up and just imagine picking
Can
it
I
up?
fold it up as well?
You can fold it up, yeah, absolutely. Fold it up and just pop it in your
small.
pocket. Great.
Okay.
The NLP tool you just saw me run with Sarah was one called Circles of Excellence. This is part of a number of tools that come under the general class of anchoring. Anchoring is a way of using stimulus and response mechanisms in order to access any state we want, any time we want. It's a very powerful and useful thing to be able to do. What you saw me do was to elicit 3 states from Sarah: a state of confidence, a state of calm, and a state of happiness. And we attached those 3 states to a stimulus. In this case, Sarah's stimulus was an imaginary circle, and actually it was a lilac colour because that's her favourite colour. And we went through a process of attaching each state to that circle so that she would have access to those at later dates. So one of the states that you thought would be useful when you got into those times of confrontation was confidence. And we had a little talk, and you remember the time when you were very confident about doing things, and I think you said it was around swimming. Mm. So some of the things that you can notice is when we're eliciting states from people, when you saw Sarah talking about her confident state, it was when she was swimming. So I began to ask her questions to take her back into that memory of when she was swimming, when she won the competition that made her feel so confident. So what I want you to do is just take yourself right back to that time where you were swimming and where you won that race. I needed her to go back there, to needed her to see the event through her own eyes and imagine as if she was there, so that she had all the feelings in her body. She could hear all the sounds that were around her in the swimming pool and see all the things that she would be able to see. In this way, our brain recreates that event for us, and we have all the same feelings as if we were there. So you're in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the sounds of the pool around you. And the audience.
Yeah.
And you begin to see the water, and you can start to feel the water.
Well, you don't really notice the water.
You don't really notice the water. Once I could see from Sarah's colour changes and her physical reactions that state was well on the way and rising within her, I just asked her merely to step into her lilac circle. Now, just take one step. The action of doing that attaches that state to that stimulus of her imagined lilac circle. Once she was there, we just waited a few seconds and allowed us to step back. So, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, no. The next thing you saw me do was to ask her a rather strange question. In fact, I asked her what she had for breakfast. There's a reason for this, and this is called a break state. It's very important when we're anchoring multiple states that we create a break in between each state so that the brain is doing something different. And then we managed to get things very clean. We went on. The second state you saw me anchor was a state of calmness. Now, Sarah likes music and she feels particularly chilled out when she's listening to her music in her room. And we talked about that, and again, I watched her state. I was watching the colour changes, and I was watching her physiology as we saw her shoulders drop down and her whole physiology began to soften and relax. So just take yourself back there now to that place when you're lying on your bed, okay, and you're feeling really calm and comfortable.
Yeah.
Get that feeling inside, and you can hear the music playing, and you can feel that calmness descend over you. You start beginning to feel how that is when that calmness descends.
Yeah.
What I wanted Sarah to do was to really experience that memory as if she was there, being there through her own eyes, hearing the music, feeling the comfortableness of being on her bed in the privacy of her own room, where she could really have that feeling of calm come back. As soon as I saw that coming back, I asked her to step in the circle again. And again, we attached that stimulus as well to the lilac circle. And how were you feeling?
It was brilliant.
It was brilliant, yeah. So now take that.
Singing along.
Sing along. Now take that feeling and just take it in. That's it. Great. Just let that be with all the others. So once we have all three states, the confidence, the calm and the happiness attached to that lilac circle, and we've broken the states between them, the next thing we need to do is to test our work. Make sure that Sarah can access that anytime she needs. So what you saw me do was talk to Sarah about a time when she was in confrontation, because this is the context in which she wanted to have this particular anchor. And she told us about a time where a customer threw a catalogue at her. So we use the same process to take her back to that time, a slightly negative time, so that we can have that state running in her. And once we've got that state running in her, I merely asked her to step into her lilac circle. And what you see on the video is Sarah laughing, and her state completely changes. So now if the customer threw that catalogue at you, how would that be different from the last time? With that confidence and that calmness and that really happy feeling moving?
I'd probably sort of maybe laugh, actually.
Maybe laugh, yeah, well, it would be. Well, it's quite funny, really. That's cool. So the technique of circles of excellence is an extremely useful technique for accessing resourceful states whenever we need them. And as I said, it's one of a range of techniques in anchoring. It's particularly used for presentations in classrooms where you want a particular set of states to achieve a particular outcome and to have you in the most resourceful